All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started tonight. I just want to welcome you tonight to our fall recruitment plan. Um, I sat down last week. I shared some ideas and thoughts together with the membership committee. We had already put a lot of things together for a fall recruitment plan, but there was a general consensus between the membership chairs and the scouting professionals in the office and our staff. And we were starting to notice a few things for this coming fall. And so I really wanted to be able to have a good conversation with everyone, bring some people together, maybe come together with a few additional ideas than what we already have. But in general, I think there's some ideas and discussion points that we need to go through tonight. The heart of what I need to share with you is about 30 minutes worth. And so just know and understand that for me, the content for what I want to share with you guys tonight, I've given a lot of good thought to, and I hope you are able to walk away with something great tonight and a plan, something to add to maybe also the plan that you already have as a pack for this fall. And we'll include a Boy Scout troop just a little bit here for us tonight too. Really tonight, I want to make sure I talk about a few things, and we're going to ask that every Cub Scout pack inside our council use the calendar that we're going to suggest to you guys tonight. We're going to ask that you do the activities that we propose, and we're going to ask that every Cub Scout pack sell popcorn. Selling popcorn, I realize, is a little different, whether you have kids sell online or if you sell door to door or at a storefront. I understand there's all different components, and we'll talk about some of the complexities of that and how it also relates to your activities and how you should implement the calendar. So when we talk about the recruitment plan that we have and would like to propose for you guys as a pack to follow tonight, you'll see a notice. Let me move this out of the way. You'll see and notice that we're going to make a suggestion for every Cub Scout pack on its calendar to have its first recruitment night between August 24th and September 18th. And for some of you, if you haven't started planning and doing a few things, that may come to a rush for you, but it's absolutely critical that you try to have your first recruitment. And we're going to turn around and say, not only is every pack going to have one, but they're going to have two highly organized recruitments this year. And I think we're going to need that approach with the COVID-19 situation that we're facing. But on October 21st, this is avoiding most of our fall breaks for our schools. And what we're going to propose and tell you, and we'll have a sign up from our membership chairs coming out to you to participate in this, but that's a Wednesday, October 21st. We're going to suggest every Cub Scout pack and any Boy Scout troop or venturing crew or exploring post to participate in a night where we all come together and we have recruiting on one night. You'll be able to set the location. We're going to encourage you to do the table method where people can go from table to table. But overall, in general, we're proposing and asking you to join us in one night. And we're going to do media and marketing out there available for that one night. And in doing that, our goal is to have it on the TV stations and radio and lots of social media. I realize the TV and radio, while many of us like to hear and see that, the overall reality is it can pay and put money for stuff on social media and get that to be in front of your face a lot more effective with that tool. So that one night would have some components where on our website and anywhere you go, we would be able to point to a web page, and that web page would essentially have a map on it showing you where every scout unit that's participating that night is at. And you can go to the nearest Cub Scout pack or troop and show up to their meeting on that Wednesday, October 21st. You can see in this list, we also have quite a few activities. We're going to talk about those activities in a little bit, but I want to make sure that we keep emphasizing this philosophy that we have on recruitment. And basically what we're asking you to do is participate in the 2 recruitments. The first one is more of a setup. You can pick your own date. We're still going to ask that you use the table method, and we're going to ask that you do the second one with us on the 21st. Now, just a quick refresher with the table method. The table method really takes, you can throw 5 tables out in a park. You can throw them inside a school cafeteria. You can throw them in a gym. You can go really anywhere, and the philosophy stays the same. You're having 5 stations for scouts, potential scouts, to either man or to walk between. Now, these tables, it's critical that, that you have somebody at each one. And really what you're doing is you have a sign-in table that people would go to first. That sign-in table really doesn't have to be somebody that is from your pack that mans that. You can have somebody from the Boy Scout troop that you feed into. That Scouts BSA unit can bring adult leaders and also youth down to help fill that greeting table. And at that greeting table is when you hand out your pack information. You can also have them sign in at that table too, which is critically important. From there, you would head over to the Bobcat table. At the Bobcat table, you have possibly other scouts from the Scouts BSA unit or from your own unit. You can have parents there, but in essence, you're going through the simple requirements for the Bobcat badge. You'll notice that on the passport to build an adventure that we have, that with that is provided by the Scout office. We have tons of those, and you're able to get any stash of those that you need from the Scout office. And it goes through and it has a paw print inside them for to fill out as they go from station to station, and they hit that Bobcat table and go through the Bobcat requirements, which are also in this passport, and in essence fill in color, stamp, whatever you want over the paw print. From there, they would go from the Bobcat table to the Meet the Leaders table, and that's really where your pack has its leadership. That's important for every scout to potentially walk up and meet their leaders. And then from there, they would head over to the paperwork table, and paperwork we'll talk about here in a few minutes, but it is a little different this year, I think, in regards to helping deal with COVID-19. And then your last table is a craft activity table. And I know and realize that a lot of times we recommend doing rockets, whether it be air rockets or water rockets. We have that equipment at the Scout office to use. You can safely use that equipment in a recruitment setting, even during COVID-19 times. It's just a matter of making sure you clean after every use and in between kids. So when we talk about these tables, somebody was asking me as I was talking to a unit, well, how is that COVID safe? Well, when you walk up to a soccer sign up, let's say it's over at a park or somewhere, you walk up, you sign up, you do a few things, you go between a few people, and then you leave. Well, the table method is set up to be the exact same style format. You walk up to one table, you do the things you need to there, then you move on and you progress from table to table. Your groups between each table won't get that large when you do that format. If you're using the format where you put everybody into a room or at a park and you sit there and say, everybody sit down, I'm going to talk to you about Cub Scouts. Well, the dilemma that you face with that is right now in COVID-19, we need to worry about having our groups get over 50. If we worry about that 50 size, then piling everybody into one group together, you may go over that number. If you have these tables together, then each table alone is a separate group. That group is not going to get over 50, and you're going to progress people from one table to the next. as you progress them, they may not even get over 10 people at each table. So in essence, we're really paying attention by using the COVID situation with us in applying the table method and it being effective for us. So there's a couple of things as I've talked to scout units that I've really have noticed, and that there's 3 types of people. And you notice on the screen, I've got my little guy there to the left, his hands out, the guy in the middle, kind of pondering, and the guy over to the right with the megahorn just ready to go. And in essence, that guy with the megahorn really represents our scouters that may exist and people in public that are just, I'm done with the mask. I'm ready to go. Tell me where to go. I'll show up and I'll be there. Let's have fun. And then you've got the far left, the other side of the spectrum, where you've got people that are very standoffish. They don't really want to interact quite yet. They're not ready to go into public. They're not ready to have their kids go into the public. And their idea of participating in an activity, if they're willing to, is through online and doing video chats. Now, somewhere in between is another group of people, and the vast majority of people I'm seeing fit into this group. Vast majority are somewhere in between those 2 groups. They want to be respectful of everyone else out there. They know and understand that they need to wear a mask when they have a scout meeting. They know that they need to social distance. They know and understand and are willing to do these things. They may not like them. They may be okay with them, but they're also not afraid or not willing to come out of their house. Now, I bring these things up because of a couple of things. As we recruit and as we have our scout meetings, we need to be cognizant of that. One group of people may be really wanting to have a video only style meeting. Another group of people may be wanting to have it in person. Tonight's a great example on that. Even some of our staff here at the Scout office wanted to be present. They didn't really want to watch it over online. And then we've got other people here present with us tonight. But then you guys are present with us online. Some of that's a travel distance. Some of that is not needing to leave or not wanting to leave. But the general idea to it is you can still have a meeting and incorporate everybody by doing it both online and in person. And you can still do it safely. So even here, as we meet, I still made sure to have the option. I've got my mask. I know these guys have their mask. If we get up and start to mingle beyond our 6-foot distance and start to get closer to each other, we can put on our masks. But because we're all seated right now, we can take our masks off. And we're outside, so that enables us to take the mask off. I still have the alcohol here for us to clean our hands and deal with safely. So we have every opportunity we need to be safe here for our meeting. But I gave consideration to that. And what I'm really basically sharing with you is somewhere in this, in your scout unit, you've got these 3 groups of people, and you're gonna need to be considerate of how to do this. Why? Well, because if you're not considerate, then one of those groups isn't going to participate. And so the intent of scouting is to help everybody have a good time. And so my simple suggestion is pay attention to that. I know and understand in some of our scout units, our leaders are going to be one of these. You may have a group of leaders that are all mixed between each 3 of these groups, or you may have somebody that's in charge of the pack and they're only willing to do video or be that standoffish person. That may complicate things for your pack if you're wanting to have a huge group of other people wanting to meet in person. Just know and understand that we're scouts, and respect is one of the things that we can do to help make sure we bridge these gaps. Now, I'm sure I'm preaching to the crowd on that, but one of the things that I had really realized was nobody has identified it this way. And so when I start saying, hey, let's identify it and let's put put something to it, it helps us all understand that now I have another way to communicate. Somebody's taught me that I can respect that. And so one of the other things that I've really heard between some of the units is in the early goings, everybody was like not wanting to meet. Now we are. But one of the things I've learned is look, whether you believe in wearing a mask or not, whether you believe in the social distancing or not, at every scout meeting, you're going to need to identify one person, not the main leader in charge. So not your den leader or your cub master or your scout master, but some other parent or leader that's there. Maybe the committee chair or somebody else is going to need to be the person that's the mask enforcer. They're not going to be the loved person, right? Nobody wants to have to go around and tell everyone to put the mask on. But you need to identify one person to do that and enforce it. Why? Because it only takes one unit out there for us to have one situation where we have to come back and say, nobody can meet. None of us want to have the federal government or the state government or local government come after us because we didn't practice safe measures with COVID, and now we have to say nobody meets. So we simply just ask that you pay attention to the safe distance, that you pay attention to wearing a mask, and that you provide opportunities to wash your hands and maybe some alcohol soap to sterilize hands. So I hope you understand that the mask enforcer, while not a fun role, somebody can make it fun, but at the same time frame, that person can be respectful in how they say it. Hey guys, I hope you brought your mask tonight. You're gonna have to put on your mask. I'd appreciate it. We'd like to have scouts. And so it's very simple. I've had to put it in place for the last 3 weeks with my own scout unit, and it really does, really works when you identify somebody and help them know that they're the person to do it for the night as the enforcer. So in recruiting people this year, look, there's a couple of things that we have in a normal year that we really preach, right? In a normal year, we say, all right, we've got social media as a tool at play. We've got flyers, we've got yard signs, and we've got cub talks. The flyers, yard signs, and cub talks are hands down flat the 3 methods that are tried and true. They work the best, and if you skip on one of those, then you have less kids showing up for a recruit. Well, over the last year, we've really put into place social media, and we've started to have great success with that. We pay for the ads here at the scout office. Somebody gives us enough lead time on it, and we'll put it up. We need at least a week of lead time for it really to make it effective. But in doing that, we use mostly Facebook on it, and we've had a couple of other approaches. And when we get into the October 21st, we'll start paying for Google Ads and AdWare and other avenues. Now, flyers, it's, you know, when we really start to talk about doing things this year, you know, on flyers, you know, I've seen it where some of the schools have actually said yes. Can we send a flyer home? And the point to it is look, you still need to ask the school principals if you can send a flyer home. But just know and remember, the same content that you put on that school flyer, you can turn around and put, you can put that content into a principal's email. So in the past, we haven't asked to send stuff home with the school principal's email. We've just tried to send a flyer. This year is a good time to ask. Principals know and understand that we're trying to do things too that are good for our students. So don't be afraid to ask for flyers. Don't be afraid to ask if you can go into a school and do a cub talk. Just because one principal says no in one location doesn't mean that principal is going to say no for all locations or that another one's not. Some will let you in, some will not. Also know that with the cub talks, bring out your phone, put your scout shirt on, and record yourself doing the Cub Talk. Practice it a couple of times, get it going. But look, it's pretty easy. Hey, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here at the school, outside, you'll be able to join Cub Scouts. And if you want to do BB guns, bows and arrows, you want to make a cool race car, you want to go hiking and camping and fishing with us, or if you just want to learn how to use a pocket knife, then tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right outside the school, you can join. Because I would be really excited to see you bring your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa tomorrow night right here at the school at 7 o'clock to join Cub Scouts with Pack 15. So it's really easy. You just record that. And the main principle to it is to say what time and where and what date 3 times, somewhere in there that you say it, and then everything else fun that you may do inside your pack. If you go beyond 30 seconds, your school principal may not appreciate that. Try to keep it to 30 seconds or less. Now, there's a couple other great things about it. On the social media, you know, make sure that if you have an opportunity to have a Facebook page, I know many of us in the past have had a Facebook page, and you say, all right, I don't want other people seeing what we are posting. I want it to be a private page. Well, I'm going to teach you to do otherwise. I would recommend, and national office recommends, that you actually take your Facebook page and make it public for anybody to search for and see. The one thing that you want to do to be safe with it is to just make sure that kids don't have names posted on there. You can have a picture of everybody doing a fun activity, but just don't put names associated with that picture. Don't put names of kids posted on the Facebook page. Just simply say, hey, had a great time fishing today with Pack 15, and post the picture. So make sure that you post on Nextdoor. Look, our Scout office can post on lots of different forms of social media, but the Nextdoor app is one that we really can't post for you on, and it be as a success as you posting locally. That's important for you as a Scout unit to post. The message gets out and other people hear about it locally. And you can comment back on it locally and answer questions locally. Whereas I can't help you do that. Now, I mentioned peer-to-peer recruiting a second ago. And look, this fall, on October 31st, by that time frame, we're going to have a logo up on our council webpage. You're going to be able to submit for any kid that has recruited another person to come and join your Scout unit. We'll give them a free patch, a free recruiter patch. We have somebody designing it, and everyone that gets submitted, we'll stockpile those up for the unit, and we'll make sure we get those to the unit. And those will become available in November for every Scout unit to hand out. We'll also make sure that we have every one of those names entered into a drawing, and 5 winners will win some pretty cool things. We've got a bike identified, we've got a tent identified, and we have a few more prizes waiting in the works. So be cautiously aware that any kid that recruits another kid will be able to win some pretty cool prizes in a drawing. Now, make sure that you submit those names by October 31st. The kids will have to be registered, yes, in Scouting. So if one kid says I recruited another kid and that was submitted, we'll double check to make sure that yes, they were submitted and joined online. Now, there's a couple things out there that I want to share with you guys. If you want to check it out, you can go to nevadabsa.org/pack15. On our council webpage, I've gone in and added a website for every one of our Cub Scout packs, and it's got a short URL. So Pack 360 is nevadabsa.org/pack360. Pack 443, Pack 512, all of you guys have a pack website out there now. It's a very simplified website. I'm not looking to make it very extravagant, but if you want to send over a few pictures to us here at the Scout office, you can send those pictures to info@nevadabsa.org and ask for it to be posted on your webpage. If you want to start having all the info of the leaders and a different calendar and all sorts of jazz, we're not going to be able to do that. The page is purposely created to be simple. And you'll see that we have some simple links there. If you have something simple and you want us to post it, please feel free to send that. One of the things that we want to make sure that you can do is have a PAC info sheet. So if you have all of your leaders and their telephone numbers and email addresses, and if you have a simple calendar and you want to put that all in a PDF document and include that in an email over to us, we'll post it on that page. And then you'll notice on that page, there is a button link where you can click on it and it takes you straight to your PAC's Apply Online page. Now you have to be set up for beascout.org and have that turned on. If you aren't aware of how to do that, make sure that you do a quick Google search for how to use online applications with Boy Scouts. Now, beascout.org has a button on that page for your unit. The info sheet has a button on there already for your unit. And then I have gone ahead and pre-set up the Apply Online to take you directly to your Scout unit's own Apply Online page. These pages are important, and the reason why we say that is because on your flyers, we have every interest in being able to say, to apply online, go to nevadabsa.org/PAC15. If I were to try to say that with the actual link that's out there for the beascout.org page, I think there's around 50 to 100 different alphanumeric characters to that link. So there's no way any of us could stand up in a Scout meeting anywhere and say, go here to apply. We just help make the process easier for somebody to apply online for you. Now this is important, and the reason why I say that is because this year we need your help. We're going to ask that you not turn in paper applications. Why? Because of COVID-19. That paper application is one way to transmit things, right? So from one person to another person to another person to another person, along with all the cash and checks and everything that flow in between. Does that mean we won't take it at the Scout office? No, we'll still take the paper application, sure. We still have plenty to hand out. However, what we're going to ask is that at any of your recruitments, that you simply tell everyone, hey, we'd like you to fill out the application online. Now, in that process, if you're at PAC 88's recruitment night, you can just say, hey, go to PAC 88 in our webpage and you'll be able to sign up and join. So that's nevadabsa.org/PAC 88. So I've probably said that enough times now, but I hope everybody understands our goal is to try to have everyone apply online. Those people that apply online, those applications, as soon as you go in and see it, when you log into my.scouting and get into the application manager and click accept, that very next day they show up in your PAC. Why is that important? Because now they're in Scout Book. And they went into Scout Book much faster than you could have been able to do by turning in a paper application. That time frame by turning in a paper application is a couple of weeks. So our goal is to help expedite the process and make the online application the preferred method for all of us to use. Now, I think one of the really important things for us to really talk about is, hey, look, when we recruit these kids, we're really trying to fulfill the promise, right? So if you go to a soccer sign-up, you know the next week or the week after, you're there and you're going to start going to a practice, and then you're going to start going to games. Well, the same thing should occur for scouting. You shouldn't have a meeting where you turn around and say, all right, we're going to try to figure out things on this meeting. Plan it out, have your calendar ready to go, have the activities for those nights, and run with it. Make sure that you follow the plan that you create, and then you share it with as many people as you can. The more often you share a plan, the more often you're going to have people show up. And the more often you share a plan, the more people are going to be willing to help be part of something that's organized and help you. Now, earlier I mentioned something about activity dates. these activities that we're suggesting to you to do is between August 29th and September 26th, we're going to encourage you to have your PAX First Fun event. Whether you borrow the rockets that we have here at the office, the water rockets or the air rockets, it doesn't matter. Or you create your own fun activity, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you do a fun activity. Now, our National Scout Office has also provided the Family Fun Fest on September 10th. And then we're also going to ask or encourage you to participate in a couple other things in September, including popcorn sales. Yes, that's still happening, but consider participating on Thursday, September 24th with our STEM night. We're going to have a theme, Light the Night. And then also on September 19th, consider doing Take a Hike Weekend. Set up somewhere for your pack or troop or anyone to go to and meet me at this trailhead. We're going to go have a hike. All right. And then when we get to October, tentatively, we're looking at October 15th as a STEM night and having a theme centered around chemical reactions. Then we really get in, and if you remember, we have that October 21st as our recruitment night. And then that following weekend, we're looking at having the Great Scouting Scavenger Hunt. That Friday morning, we will email out to everyone that signs up and wants to participate the opportunity to participate in a scavenger hunt. This scavenger hunt you can do statewide or nationwide or worldwide. We're going to give you different topics and different activities to go do. Each scout, family, den, or patrol can participate in this. You can sign up in any one of those formats. And as you do, you'll get a list, and here's the activities you go to. One of them may be, for example, go take a picture with an elected official. You take that picture, you look down on your activity list, you take the number for that activity, and you title that picture that activity number. And then you save that picture in a folder, whether it's in Dropbox or a Google folder or somewhere. And then on Sunday night, when you're done, you'll take that address for that folder that you created online to share, and you'll post it into a Google form where we can be able to go and access. On that Saturday, as part of the Great Scouting Scavenger Hunt, we will also have the Cub Scout Adventure Day. Now, in the years past, we had this activity over at Cabela's Day. Now, we can't gather at Cabela's Day. We've had typically hundreds of people show up for this activity. So this year, we won't be able to have hundreds of people gathered, but you will see that we will have some of the activities we had at Cabela's Day scattered all around, and you'll be able to go to different stores or parks and show up and do some of these activities. Those activities will also overlay as part of the points that you can get with the Great Scouting Scavenger Hunt. We hope that this will be an outstanding activity for you to participate in, and that families all over can participate in this. You can even challenge other families across the nation that you may have to participate with you in it and sign up to participate. We're looking to have this as a activity that you can sign up for starting tomorrow on our council webpage. It will appear. Then, somewhere between September 1st and November 20th, we're looking to ask you to have a cardboard box derby. Tomorrow, you'll see the posting for this activity show up on our council webpage. That the instructions on how to do this activity will show up on our membership resources page. So, to help out explain what a cardboard box derby is, you simply say, all right, I'm going to create a loop, a track out in a field, in a gym, in a cafeteria, somewhere with cones or something where kids can run around the outside perimeter of that loop. As they run around, there's different stations that they can run to. At one station, for example, they may show up to it and have to change their tires. Changing their tires means they take their shoes off and switch them from one foot to the other foot, and then have their shoes on the wrong feet as they run around the loop again. And then they go back to that station and change their tires back to the right foot. As they run around and do these activities, they have a cardboard box that sits on top of their shoulders. From the front side of the box going to the back side of the box is a strap that you hang over the shoulder, and it just rests on their shoulders. That allows them to have their hands free as they go running around. But the box may be shaped as an X-Wing, a Porsche, a Mack truck, or any other vehicle that they like. But have fun with it, decorate it up, and it's a fun activity. The boxes will help you social distance and still have fun. This is an outdoor activity that's easy to do. The great thing about this activity, though, is you tell every one of your leaders inside your Cub Scout pack that they are not allowed to run that activity. They're not allowed to run one of the stations. They're not allowed to go and help at the station. Some other parent in your dens needs to be recruited to help do these activities. In the long run, what happens is you have these parents, they show up, and somebody is going to have the best decorated station. Somebody will be loud and vocal. Somebody will turn around and help organize other people. The main goal is to take your pack leadership, stand afar, look over, and see what the parents have helped organize and do, and identify people that you may need as other leaders inside your pack. If somebody has really decorated a station up really well, then consider that parent as a person that could help go and decorate your blue and gold. You kind of see the example. Use this as an activity to help identify more leaders. This is a year where I have a feeling you may need more leaders. The cardboard box derby and how to do that will be posted once again on our nevadabsa.org website under the membership resources section. You get there by going to the website, click on the top left under the council part, there's a drop down and you'll see membership resources. Many of our other resources are also located on that page. Just know that will be posted tomorrow along with some of the other activities. Please understand that we have lots of different ideas on how to handle these circumstances. I gave you the idea of paying attention to 3 different types of groups of people. The main idea is to just try to be respectful of how everyone is handling this right now. When you have that in mind and everybody else says, I want to have that objective too, then it makes it a lot easier to have scouting and have fun with our kids and still teach them the scouting skills that we're all looking for as parents to have with our kids. So without further ado, I just wanted to share these things tonight, say thanks for coming and participating. You'll notice that I have on there, like our Facebook page. If you haven't gone out and associated yourself with our Facebook page, please do. We're posting on there all the time. Lots of great info and tidbits. Paige Wadley is on with us tonight. She is our Facebook coordinator, and just want to thank her for that. So now, without further ado, I've talked about a lot of different things. Hopefully you've already received a copy of the suggested timeline and membership plan calendar. If you haven't, we'll be sending that out again. And then we've done, some more updates to it and made some more recommendations in that calendar. So maybe you have an older version, you want to see the new version. So, but, without any further ado, I've said a lot tonight, but are there any general questions that we can help answer tonight on how you can start your pack off for a great fall? Woohoo, touchdown. Sean, I think I see you out there. You got a question?
The joint event, is that going to be in one location, or is that going to be everybody does their own thing at different locations, or what do you have in mind for that?
That's a great question. In essence, we're going to share one website. We'll have yard signs that we want to have, and on that website, people can go to that website and then click on a map, and it will show them where every scout unit that's participating is. And so Sean, you know, Pack 512, you guys do one at a park up in Northwest Reno, and it'll show up on that map and somebody will be able to say, I want to go there that night. So the concept of saying, hey, I need to go to this school isn't necessarily in this plan. It's, I'm going to go to this location because that looks like it's the closest one to me. Great question. But that doesn't keep, you know, like a Pack 360 from participating. You know, Robert, you guys can still participate that night too. And the advertising that we might have will still carry over to your area also in the Dayton area. It'll carry over to Elko. It'll carry over to the North Valleys and into Loyalton. It still will carry over to the entire boundaries of the whole council.
Cool.
Melissa, I think I see your hand down there, and if somebody else is holding their hands up, I only get to see a few of the pictures, but don't be afraid to speak out. So Melissa, you had a question or a thought?
Yes, so I've had some PACs ask me, and I was wondering if you have any tips. So when you're doing, say, a den meeting, and you're talking about doing it in person, as well as kind of broadcasting it on Zoom or whatnot, is there a good way that you figured out where, so that the sound is good, the people online can hear you, but you're still interacting with the people that are there as well?
Yeah, sure. Now, just by coincidence, I have that set up, and I kind of set this night up so you can see some of our crowd here. And I'm going to keep spinning, but you'll see there's the outdoor speaker, right? And then, and then I turned around and I set up a screen. Now, you know, when I did this and have done this, and I know like Troop 850 does this too. Look, you know, you bust out the laptop and here's the laptop and everybody talks on the laptop. And you kind of set it over on a table and then you have your den meeting and the leader that's talking, the person that's talking has to stand kind of perpendicular to the camera, you know, so you can address your crowd, but then you also address online. And so ironically tonight, you know, I actually put my shoulder kind of to everybody else here and I didn't really talk to them, but I did that on purpose because I wanted to record tonight and be able to have me talk more directly. So, but Melissa, I think to better answer your question, look, you know, use a phone, use a laptop, whatever medium you've got. If you want to go to the extreme like I did tonight, put out another speaker so that it makes it even louder, put up a screen, all that's possible. If you're doing a court of honor, you're doing a PAC meeting, put all this out, you know. Somebody is going to have the projector, somebody's going to have an outdoor speaker somehow. Set this stuff out so that everybody can participate and hear. Did that, any other component of that question for you, Melissa, that I need to talk more on?
No, I think that gives a couple of ideas. I just had a couple of people say they were trying to do it with a laptop and the sound wasn't very good and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, sometimes on a laptop, the sound isn't good, you know, and so in Zoom, GoToMeeting, and a lot of these occasions, you know, look, if the sound isn't good, then deactivate the webcam sound and call in. And 9 times out of 10, your cell phone is going to have a better sound to it anyways. Any other questions out there?
I just had a really quick question, Pat. On the activity days, are those STEM nights going to be held at the council, or are we supposed to hold each PAC or group hold their own?
Sherry, that's a great question. We're going to actually hold those on a Zoom meeting online. Our tentative goal is to try to either the week before or latest that Monday before the meeting release if anything is needed for that meeting. But our goal is to host it. Jim K from PAC 443 I think he's on with us. You know, I was kind of asking him earlier today if he minded help taking the lead on the first one. So I am looking for some other people to help take the lead on the second one with the chemical reactions. So just know that we're trying to accomplish some of that so that everybody can participate, dial in, watch, and then, you know, with the normal stuff that you have laying around inside your home, be able to go and grab that stuff. And I guess in addition to those activities, we had the day camp alternative activity bags that people could use last week. We have had raving reviews for the activity bag that we created, and we've got about 30 of those left. We're going to actually put those out on the council website for purchase next week. And so those will become available. And then we're also already talking about doing another activity bag and making that available for people to purchase online. And that would be centered around music and making musical instruments, and looking at having that possibly available in October. Sherry, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions out there, guys?
Oh, yeah. What was the short link for the different packs? I'm on the NevadaBSA.org, but I guess what else do I need to enter in?
Yeah, you won't actually find them in a menu anywhere on the website, and that's by design, purposely. But you will be able to find them. So if you're part of Pack 512, you'll go to NevadaBSA.org/Pack 512. There's no spaces in that. It's all one word. Did that help, Jeff? Did you find your pack that way?
I put in Pack 316, but I'm getting no URL.
Okay. So, well, let me double check that here in a little bit and make sure that it's there and available for you. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And hopefully everybody else is taking a look to make sure that theirs is there and working, and it is. So if you haven't or can't find it, do just as Jeff said and let me know. Now, guys, the entire intent was we got to tonight's meeting. The reason for tonight was I started talking to several Cub Scout packs, and they really got into a situation where they weren't sure what they were doing for the fall. They weren't sure what kind of activities. They didn't know how to do things. They didn't know how to even plan a calendar out for this fall. My hopeful wish is that we've given you a timeline on when to recruit and a few things that you need to do for recruiting, giving you ideas on how to do that recruitment night, and that now you've got some activities that you can include with your PAC's calendar that are universally doable for all of us to participate together in. And so hopefully we help strengthen your fall some by doing this for you. And making it more fun, right? Any other questions out there, guys?
Really quick, I don't know how effective flyers are going to be given the way the schools are handling papers. Is that why we're leaning more towards online stuff?
You know, Sean, it's a great question. The dilemma that you have, you know, is still trying to get the message out. And if you have a school principal and she'll let you send the flyer home, then do it. You know, but the general idea is, you know, the content on the flyer, can you take that flyer and scan it? Yes. Can we take that flyer, scan it, and put it on that short URL link for your own unit? Yes. There's a lot of options that we have. So if you need to you can also create a simple paragraph and include join at nevadabsa.org/PAC15 or 512. And you can put that in a little paragraph statement and ask your principal to send that home to everyone. So I would say, ask for the world. Don't hesitate asking for the whole world. Let them say no and let them identify the barriers and work to find the avenues that you can promote. Because if you remember, one of the things I really like to teach is, look, it's going to take you 7 times for somebody to hear about joining scouting before they actually join. And so your goal is to try to keep narrowing down that number of 7 until they show up. And so a YouTube video where each teacher can share that in their classroom, a YouTube video where the principal can send that link home for parents to see, whatever options, help you guys out. We're just trying to make sure we bring it up for you to create. If you're stuck and need to get help on creating a YouTube video, feel free to reach out. It doesn't take long for me to help show you how to do it. So it's a lot of it's easier than you think. And a lot of people think, oh, it doesn't look like a professional video, like something on Colo 8 News where it's an ad. Nah, you don't need that. People don't want to see that anyways. So they want to see real life.
Probably had a text question.
Sure. Texting question, guys.
How do we do online NevadaBSA.org or online registration for a new pack?
Sure.
They don't have be a scout.
Sure. If they're a new scout unit, we have to get you turned in and posted in ScoutNet first. And so there's no option to that. So get us the first 5 kids, get us the minimum adults that are needed. Let's turn in the new unit application and turn in all the paperwork we need to, and we'll get it posted as quick as we can. And once that happens, then it turns on.
Then we can do a BSA.
Yeah, but that's bare minimum that has to occur before it can turn on. So, and if somebody didn't have, and I tried to run through and look, and I think all the packs that are with us tonight, everybody does have online applications turned on. And so if somebody didn't have it turned on, then I didn't turn on the short URL for that unit. So,
but the importance of having a Be a Scout pin that's updated is critical to this.
yes, absolutely critical. Because if your pin isn't updated, then overall somebody to join online is going to struggle also. So yeah. Great question. Anybody else got any other questions? Feel free to text Dan or Tammy their question, or if you were texting me, I apologize. I didn't pay attention to that. I'm talking. So.
Okay, I just went into our link, and when you hit apply online, it takes you right to myscout.org, asks you to do an application or to create an account.
Yes.
But when you go down to the unit info sheet, you don't get an option to click on that. So what do we have to do so that we have an option to click on that?
Sure, Sherry, I don't have that information for you, so, the unit info sheet, I really recommend sit down, create a PAC contact sheet, create your calendar out for the fall through next spring, whatever you want to do, and turn around and turn that into, if you send it to us in a Word document, we'll turn it into a PDF document. If you send it to us in a PDF document, we'll just post it. But get that document to us and that information, and we'll help post that online for you.
Okay, perfect. That was what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Sure. Now you can also go, if you guys want, you can visit the nevadabsa.org/PAC15 page. you'll notice on that page, I put a little graphic at the top there. I also made sure that I got the URL for our Facebook page, and I also put that on there. So our Facebook page is linked to it, which is important for our pack, the pack I'm with. And so I think, you know, that's helpful. And so I wanted to put a few pictures there. So that was something. So I created a collage and turned it into one picture, and then just uploaded that. So simple thing to do. It doesn't over congest the page. What other questions does anybody have?
I have some information for the units. This morning we had a Zephyr District membership committee meeting, and we were talking during the meeting that many of the schools are not sending paper home at all, and so that's one of the reasons. But this school we're working with in particular with this Sepulveda, and there the principal says, sure, took the flyers and said, I'll send them home this week. So you never know unless you ask. But number two, I called the communications office with the district. They have encouraged the principals to work with Scouts and Rainbow and whatever other groups are out there to help with communication. And here's what a lot of the schools are doing. They are scanning all the documents that need to go home each week, and they're posting it to their school website page so the parents can go there and pick it up. So depending on the schools you serve, they should be willing to add your flyer to the packet that's going on their website with the school night.
Very valid points, Ray. Extremely valid. You know, don't say no for your principal. You know, let your principal say no. And then something else that is very valid. Hey, look, you know, yard signs, you got to put like 30 of them out this year. You can't put one in front of the school. You got to put 30 out for every recruitment, you know. The important part to note with that also is, you know, Ray mentioned the online repository for flyers for your school. Okay, look, my kids have gone through every grade at Brown Elementary. I have yet to figure out where the heck that folder is. There's no way I'm the only parent out there like that. And so just know that that repository is not the most effective tool. So don't rely on it because it's a very ineffective tool. Not saying it won't work, but just know the majority of parents don't go there. And the school district's IT office has the analytics to tell you they don't. Any other great questions out there?
I was
All
going
right.
to mention one, if I could, Pat, I'm sorry, at the last
Yeah, go for it, Paige.
One other idea is most schools have like a Facebook page, and they might be, well, and I suspect in many cases they're run by the PTO. And so get to know your PTO, be their friend, message them, and I'm sure, you know, in many cases they would be willing to share your PAC's information as well.
Right. And Paige, when you post your recruitment as an activity on your PAC's Facebook page, you can also tag the school's Facebook page with it, and absolutely something you want to do. So when we do that, the ad at the Scout office, we don't necessarily know everybody's Facebook page. We go out and post that ad. So if you see our ad, then for your PAC, then like it, comment on it, and then turn around and share it, tag the school with it, get it associated with back to the community in a local way, And that will only increase the odds of somebody seeing your ad.
Hey, Pat,
Yeah.
what about would doing
One of our parents organizes the farmers market out here in Dayton. So we could maybe talk to them about putting up some sort of a table or something. So they're still doing that a couple more weeks.
Yeah. You know, look, this is the year where if your kids are going out door to door on popcorn, if they're standing at the farmers market and they're going to sell popcorn, you know, this is the year where you take your flyers and you recruit every parent and every kid to join Scouts also. You're not just standing there to sell popcorn and fundraise. You're there to get kids also. And oh, by the way, when you're at those type of activities, look, the people that come over to talk to you about joining, those are the people that are more proactive about it, and they're easier to recruit as leaders too. So if you happen to be organized for a 5-second pitch, that elevator talk at any of your popcorn sales, then just know that it's going to make it easier. So yes, yeah, Robert, go ahead, pitch away. Every opportunity you're in public, make a pitch to join. Don't be afraid to go buy look online. You can find a banner and get a banner that's like 3 foot by 4 foot or 2 foot by 6 foot. You can get a banner for $30 and put Pack 15, join now, help us fundraise or whatever on that banner and hold it high. So.
Cool. I'll do that.
Any other last questions, guys? All right, well, I'm grateful that each of you chose to spend a few minutes with us tonight. It's awesome. We've had, I think, upwards of 25 people join us online at any given moment. And so, great night. It's been recorded, and I'll try to make sure that over the next week we get this posted up. I'll use Paige to help it get posted. But overall, awesome fall that we have before us. And as I like to share with lots of people, hey, look, we're Scouts. We can figure this out. So go scouting and have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Pat.
you, Pat.
Welcome, guys.